We'll continue here by talking about polyatomic ions. And these are the polyatomic ions I want you to memorize. I would strongly recommend that you get flashcards and write the formula on one side with the charge and the name on the other side so that you can remember these. Polyatomic ions are two or more covalently bond atoms which act as a single charged ion. So for example, hydroxide on the right here, OH, those are bonded together by a covalent bond. They have a -1 charge and they act as a single charged ion. On the left here you have chromate, CrO4, again covalently bonded together, and they have a charge going together as a -2. You need to memorize the ones on this table. These are the ones that you'll be held responsible for on a quiz or test. So make sure you get your flashcards and work on those. So give the formula for each of the following. And I'll do this again, try to help you with this. So calcium and nitrate. So from the table, the nitrate is NO3 -1, and calcium is +2. The least common multiple is 2. 2 goes into 2 one time, so there's calcium. And then nitrate, 1 goes into 2 two times, so you have to multiply this whole thing by 2. Sodium and sulfite. Sulfite is SO3 -2. So you have Na +1. Just to show you, here is sulfite -2, and the previous one was nitrate, NO3. So sodium and sulfite, again, the least common multiple here is 2. 1 goes into 2 two times, and 2 goes into 2 one time. So that's sodium sulfite. Ammonium acetate. Okay, if we look here, ammonium is here, and acetate is here. So you've got NH4 +1 and C2H3O2 -1. The least common multiple is 1, so it's NH4 C2H3O2. Ammonium, I'm sorry, this was aluminum acetate. I misread it. Let's do aluminum carbonate. Aluminum carbonate. Carbonate's a -2 and aluminum's a +3. So the least common multiple is 6. 3 goes into 6 two times. And 2 goes into 6 three times. So you have to multiply that one by 3. And then the last one's magnesium and phosphate. Phosphate is PO4 3-. Magnesium is 2+. So 6 is the least common multiple. 3 goes into 6 three times. 2 goes into 6 two times. So this is magnesium phosphate. You can write the formula, but can you name the compound if you're given the formula? So this is going in the opposite direction. Naming is fairly simple, but it can confuse people from time to time. The first group that you need to learn how to name are the binary compounds. And binary compounds are compounds that are made up of 2 atoms. They are almost always ionic compounds. The first name is the cation, and the second name is the anion with that IDE suffix. So for example, sodium and fluorine is sodium fluoride. Calcium and oxygen is calcium oxide. Some of the metals have more than one number. Well, how do we distinguish more than one number? You use a Roman numeral to show the charge on the cation. So, for example, here's iron combined with 2 chlorines. That means iron has a +2 charge in this case, so it's called iron 2 chloride. But if it combines with a +3 charge, it's called iron 3 chloride. The covalent compound has the same first and second name. So it doesn't have necessarily, it works the same way as the ionic compounds, but many times there's more than one possible combination, so you have to use a Latin prefix. So for example, carbon and oxygen, carbon oxide, it can form a single oxygen or a double oxygen, so it's carbon monoxide when it's a single oxygen, and carbon dioxide when it's 2 oxygens. And here's the prefixes that you'll need to learn. It's uncommon to see anything beyond 4 or 5, but we've listed 10 here that you need to learn. The naming of polyatomic compounds depends. Remember, you had to learn the name of those polyatomic ions. The first name is the way you've done it all along, and the second name is the name of the polyatomic ion. And the only difference in this is when you use ammonium, in which case it's the cation has the polyatomic name. So for example, this one is potassium, but instead of, say, chloride or bromide, it's potassium carbonate. That's the carbonate polyatomic ion. Sodium combined with the nitrate ion is called sodium nitrate. Barium combined with the sulfate ion is called barium sulfate. So let's look at some practice here. Give the name of the formula, or both, depending on what I give you. So here's potassium and bromine. So the first thing you want to do is you want to start out by writing the 2 symbols down, K and Br. And you remember this is -1, this is +1. So the formula is KBr. And the name is potassium. This is a binary ionic compound, so it's potassium bromide. A binary ionic compound. I gave you the formula here, so to name it, you write the first name, calcium, and this is the nitrate, so it's calcium nitrate, not calcium dinitrate, just calcium nitrate. Lithium phosphate, lithium is Li, phosphate is PO4. This is -3, this is +1. So the least common multiple is 3. 1 goes into 3 times. So it's Li3PO4, and it's called lithium phosphate. This is another polyatomic ion. This is aluminum combined with the sulfate, so it's aluminum sulfate. And then lastly, magnesium sulfide is magnesium and sulfur. This is +2, this is -2. 2 is the least common multiple, so it's going to be Mg, 2 goes into 1 time. S, 2 goes into 2 1 time. Don't write the 1. I shouldn't have written that. So it's MgS.